Do you know him?
I've heard of him. I don't know him personally.
Big crypto guy, same deal.
Okay.
20 to life.
Oh, God.
And then you.
Wow. Wow. Is that a good category to be in?
That joke took a while to set up.
Uh,
Do I have a headset? I don't know. Ryan Chamberlain.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Well, hurry up.
All right, I'm hitting the button. We're going live.
Okay, I'm watching.
We're live.
Okay, so I wonder why Adrian kept rubbing my leg. I thought this is rather odd. Hello, everybody. It's Tom Chenault. This is the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Adrian Chenault, and we got a great guest for you. In a minute, you're going to love this kid. I have been a fan of his for so long, considering he's such a young man. It's unbelievable. But before we go there, all right, you know I have a split personality. I'm going to need it because I just found out Denise is speaking in Vegas at Marina Worre's Most Powerful Women in Vegas event for like the 93rd year in a row. And it makes me so mad because
The Most Powerful Women in Network.
whatever it's called. And it's just so sad because I should have been invited, but I didn't get to go. So anyway, she's in there. She's going to be on the stage again, and that's really, really excited. So all of you women, I want you to go to, what's it called?
The Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing.
I want you to go to that. And all you men, I want you to go to the ANP. And the reason I want you to go to the ANP is because it's cooler, because it's all us men. And we will be there, and it'll be more fun, and it will be great. And there won't be any women, so the men won't be there either. They'll be in Vegas too. So it's going to be quite the time. But yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to tell you about. And the second thing, there's a guy out there named Ryan Chamberlain. And Ryan Chamberlain's been a network marketer for a very, very long time at a very, very high level. One of those guys that's like you know, just a Boy Scout, never got a traffic ticket in his life, sharp as a tack, good-looking guy, and married, all kinds of kids, no blemishes on his record. Now he's running for United States Congress down in Florida. So if you go to Ryan Chamberlain, CHAMBERLIN.com, you're going to be able to see what he's got going on. And this kid is a sharp guy, and he's an advocate for our profession, which is something we need in Congress. So even if you don't live in Florida or his district, you know somebody in Florida that's in his district, or you can go figure out a way to throw him some money, because we need a voice there in a very, very large way. That's kind of like what the ANMP is all about. And the ANMP, as a result of, now we've got a new guy that's on the board, Stuart Johnson, who was over, now he's just, you know, success partner guy, just monster reputation, was huge with the DSA. He's heavily involved with it now. Steve Wallach from Longevity just texted me, said, I'm going to get a whole lot more involved with the ANMP. So we want you to go to the ANMP too. So just, I love the fact that we're becoming a voice. It's a professional association, a professional profession, network marketing, and we've got to get those kinds of people at the top instead of all the garbage that's going on out there with the Elapreneurs company. And I'm a little upset about that, and I want to talk about that a little bit. And I don't care which side of the fence you're on in it. I really don't. I don't know what happened between Robert Oblon and Keith Halls and Kip Allison. I have no idea, nor do I want to know. I don't care. And I've got all kinds of paperwork on it with both sides protesting what the other guy is doing. But here's what I'm asking you to do. Get rid of the Facebook Lives where you're just trying to get eyeballs on your story versus their story. Get it settled in a court of law. And at the end of the day, you can all come back and say, I won, I lost. But we don't want to hear the drama, because it takes those new people and they hear, this is what network marketing is all about. And it's not, I don't want you doing that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
So just keep your dirty laundry in the courtroom at best, and hopefully you just don't even go there. We don't need it. So cut all the shenanigans up. Okay, we're done with that. Now, all right, done with my rants. Now we can talk to this unbelievable guy. So I've known him for a long time, and we've had some fun in the past because he's so doggone young. He was like 12 when I met him, and I've always mocked the heck out of him because I'm jealous because he makes more money than me, and he hasn't even got his driver's license yet. But what I love about this guy is that he's got such an unbelievable work ethic. And all of you people are talking about getting your kids and your grandkids and young people into network marketing, and you don't know how to do it. And so what we did, we searched really, really hard. And there's a bunch of kids that make big money and make a big difference in this profession. But I chose this guy because I think he's like the cream of the crop. I think he's going to be here for a long time. Brian McMullen, everybody knows him, is kind of like a mentor to him. And John Hammock is the guy that initially just said, Tom, you got to get him on the show. His values are so high and his moral compass is so good that you got to get him on the show. So with that, Anthony Napolitano, how are you, kid?
I'm good. How are you?
Stop acting so calm. I'm doing great. What's happening, Funk?
I'm good. I'm having a good time. I actually just got back to Florida yesterday. Was in Atlanta, Georgia for the weekend. We had a good event out there. So I've been busy traveling, as you always know.
What is a good event? What does that mean?
I would say I don't base events on size because I've been to a lot of like really big events, and sometimes the value's not as good as an event with 100 people, right? It really just determines by the speakers and the information. I see a lot of big networkers, right? They're like, oh, I'll only come to your event if you have this many people in the room. I never really believed in that philosophy because you could take a small group of people, if they're good people, and turn it into a lot. So why do you need to have a lot to go to an event? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So when you're building a business, right? So that whole concept is really, really cool. But the leaders and the speakers at the event this weekend were just awesome, man. Awesome stuff.
That makes me happy. And how on earth did you even get into this game? And when did you do it?
Yeah, so I got into the game when I was 18 years old. I was actually a full-time college student athlete going to school for baseball, basically, right? And that was my degree, baseball. That was really what I was going for.
Where did you go to school?
So my freshman year, I went to Florida Gulf Coast University, FGCU, and then I transferred my sophomore year to a school in Texas called Galveston.
Okay, good.
Yep. So I basically was going to school to pursue sports, right? That was really it. I wasn't going to be a doctor or a lawyer. That wasn't really on my mind at the time. It was like, hey, professional athlete. That was what I was thinking. And I met a guy on the college campus, and he was driving a very nice car. We had a little conversation, and I didn't think much of the conversation that day, but he asked for my social media. He asked for my Instagram and my Facebook. About 3 weeks went by from that day that I actually met him, and he shoots me a message on Instagram that says, Anthony, I'm working on something I think you'd be good at. And I'm like, you don't even know me. You met me hanging out at the college pool. What's really going on here? Like, how do you think I'm gonna be good at something? And then he follows that up by saying this one, which I wouldn't recommend doing, but he did. He goes, hey, it's a way we can make a lot of money together, right? He said that to me, and I'm extremely skeptical. You know, I don't know this guy. Now he's telling me we're going to make money. I don't know if it's legal, illegal. I don't know what's going on here, right? But he basically said, hey, just hear me out. And I looked at his social media. I looked at his Instagram. I looked at his Facebook. And I said, man, he's driving a nice car. He's living in a nice house. He must be doing something right. I don't know what he's doing, but it's something right. I'm 18. I have no money at the time. I'm going to school, playing sports. I don't really have anything going on financially. So I said, hey, maybe I could learn something. So I went and met up with him that day, and he introduced me to this great industry of network marketing. That's how it all happened.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Who was that?
There's a guy named Eric Augustine. He was he's actually one of my best friends. Yeah, one of my best friends still this day. I probably saw him like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
You're
really,
kidding?
Really big guy.
Is he in your organization now or another company?
Yes. So, yeah, he has a position in my organization now. Yeah.
So you flipped him.
I flipped him, yeah.
Oh, my God, that's
over the years, right? Yeah.
That is so fun. And so you decided to what? So all these kids that are watching, all these adults, what did you do then? You fell in love with it? You became a student of network marketing?
Yeah, so this is really what happened. Initially, I didn't know really if it's a career or really what's going on. I just got introduced to it. I see a guy making money with it. So the first 6 months, I was really just, hey, off of my pure ambition, making some extra money. That was really what was going on. And 6 months in, though, I went to my first real event. And it was a big event actually located in Miami. And I went down to this event. And I saw these people on stage getting these checks and these awards.
Eric Worre is watching you right now. So you better just mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah. So
And
no,
Eric, I just told all the women to go to your wife's event. So I want you to know that too. Keep going, Anthony. Sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. So I went to that event and I saw all these people on stage and I'm like, wow, all these people are making money in this industry. Like, really? Like that guy's making that much money? That guy's nothing better than me. Like, why can't I be up on that stage? So I started thinking to myself that day, I'm like, man, all these people are making money in this business. There was a lot of different cultures, ethnicities, different backgrounds as a whole. I'm like, if these people can do it, I can do it. That's what changed for me that day. And then I looked at it more as a career than just something I could make money in, because I saw these people with their results and the longevity of it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna really go full force with it. But the one thing that did help me, and I tell everyone this, initially, of course, you're not going to be great at the business, right? This is my first time even having a real job, I guess you could say, network marketing. So a lot of times you're going to fail right off the bat, a lot. And most people get discouraged and quit. The thing that did it for me to keep me in this industry was, I said, if it took me 20 years to build a residual income that could pay me for the rest of my life, it's worth it. Because if it's not, I'm going to work a job 30 to 50 years most likely and have no time or financial freedom ever. So I might as well dedicate 20 years, even if I have to work a job during part of that time or whatever the case is, give it 20 years to build a residual income. So when people told me no, I was like, I got 20 more years of this. I got 19 more years of this, right? It's not going to make me quit, because I had that long-term mindset. And I think, most people, it's an emotional roller coaster, their business. It's like, oh, I'm happy today, I'm sad today. And their activity is completely based off their emotion. I got that even keel. So you know what? Don't matter if today, my best guy quits, I'm showing up. That's the attitude I had. And that's what really helped me have success very quickly. And I think most people, they can't control their emotions. And that's why they're like this all the time.
And where does that come from for you? That ability to keep it consistent and to hold your emotions in check. How'd you
Yeah. So I think my parents, I think specifically my dad, he always talked about, long-term stuff, always had that like mindset of longevity. When whatever you're doing, longevity. And when I saw network marketing, the thing that made me excited about network marketing, the business model, was not making a ton of money in a month. The thing that was exciting about network marketing was building a residual income that could pay me for the future. Because if I just wanted to make a lot of money in a month, I could just go do high ticket sales or whatever the case is and make a bunch of money. I wanted to build something that I could eventually walk away from that could keep paying me. That was the philosophy.
Wow. All right. Well, we got to take a little break. This is a real radio show, and we are on the Genesis Communication Network based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thank you, Ted Anderson, for letting us have this show for so many years. We really appreciate you more than you're ever going to know. We're going to take a little break. There will be some commercials. And after that, we're going to come back with the great Anthony Napolitano. And you want to hear the rest of this show, because this is the kid that is really kind of carrying the big flag for integrity and not fast money in network marketing. He talked about long-term. We want you to understand that even more. So we'll be back right after this on the Network Marketing Leadership Show. And we're back.
Hey, we did it.
I only went to that break about a week early.
Well,
He tapped me on the leg, so I started the out, and I looked down, and I got like an hour. So that was hilarious. All right.
Minneapolis, Minnesota, United States.
Yeah. Tony Canuli is watching. Nate Garrett, unbelievable. Eric, Andre, that little Symbolic girl from Amsterdam, Andrea, she got the husband with the wild clothes. Do you know them?
Yes.
They're watching the show. But they've never been on this show before, and they came to watch you, you little nose picker. That's amazing. So we're at the break right now. So by the way, we're at the break. So none of this is going to be on the radio. So I want to ask one more question before we go to Adrian's commercial. Those headsets, those earplugs.
Yep.
So I have been convinced that the reason I am a failure is because I don't have the Apple AirPods. What are they called? AirPods. And I don't have the Pros. And now I look at you wearing those.
I do have the Pros, but I don't do them with my laptop. I only do them with my cell phone.
Okay.
With the laptop, for some reason, I haven't connected my laptop to Bluetooth, so I just plug it in. Yeah.
I can't believe my eyes. I didn't think anybody even, that's like, you're like a dinosaur in a young man's body. All right. What's going on, contact member?
So Anthony, I love your long-term attitude. And I think that you're absolutely right. That I think that's something that really sets you apart as any professional in this industry, let alone somebody to grasp that at such a young age. So how does it show up for you playing the long game when it comes to building relationships when you take that long-term outlook?
Yeah, so I set a lot of people up with a proper expectation. So at the end of the day, they're going to be here a lot longer, which is important. And, at the end of the day, a lot of people leave and then come back because they're like, man, this guy was right about this business. And, I've seen a lot. And you see the internet today. Like, he was basically devastated right at the beginning of the show. Like, people are bashing each other, jumping around left and right every single week during a new deal. It's crazy. It's a crazy, wild, wild west with this internet today. That's internet network marketing is good and bad, right? Good and bad.
That's really cool. And I think that's a really powerful thing, that it's like, you've got this posture of like, you're probably, somebody else is going to go tell you that you're going to make $1 million tomorrow, and they're lying to you. But if you want to go play that game, go play it for a little while. I'm going to tell you how this really is going to be. And I'm going to, bless you on your way to go do that thing. And then we'll talk later, and you can, we can have this relationship that builds based on the fact that I'm willing to tell you the truth, even if the truth isn't as shiny as what somebody else out there is telling you, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's really what it comes down to. Yep.
That's awesome.
So what's your app do?
So contact mapping is, you think about Anthony out there, he's having this conversation with somebody, and he says, hey, I want you to give me 5 years of your life. And they go, well, I'm 18. That's like over a fourth of my life. I don't know that I want to give that to you. But he learns their story. And then in a year, that person calls him back and he goes, hey, I remember you. You were the guy who was trying to get onto the, single A baseball team and was doing whatever. And you play back that story to this person that you remember about them because you took the time to put it into your little app. And all of a sudden, not only are they in love with you because you told them the truth, but they're in love with you because you cared about them and remembered them. And so that's what contact mapping enables you to do, is to be able to build relationships that are not transactional, that have longevity, and that have people understand that you care about them. So it's an app, it's free to try for 30 days, and you should go check it out right now at contactmapping.com.
Very good. All right. You got to be quiet for 5 seconds. We're going back on the air. And there's a lady that's all mad at me because she's like 100, but she asked me, she's mad at me because I called you a nose picker. So if that hurt your feelings, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
And we're back. It is Tom Chenault, and it's the Network Marketing Leadership Show. We've got Anthony Napolitano with us, and he is unbelievable. He's a great network marketer, young man. We're very excited to have him on. Lots of people on here. Most of the names I've never seen before on the screen that are watching the show because they're all millennials, and I'm a dinosaur. So that's kind of cool. But Anthony, are you a baseball fan to this day?
Yeah, I'm a
So you probably know who John Miller is, the voice of the San Francisco Giants.
Yes.
Hall of Fame radio guy.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very influential in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had your contact mapping app out, contactmapping.com app out right now, you would open it up and say, holy mackerel, Tom Chenault is John Miller's cousin. So if you ever have the Giants in town, you call me on the phone, you say, can you score me some tickets to the game? And you sit in the press box.
Relationships are everything, right?
Contact mapping. It's unbelievable, Anthony. So tell me a story. What else? All right. So we were talking about you getting into the business. A lot of people are popping up the word long-term and integrity. And it's amazing. All these kids that I'm looking at their pictures, they're all young guys and young women, but they're talking about integrity and long-term, which isn't what you think with kids. Cause like he said, they're young and they don't even, you don't have a lot of life behind you yet to be thinking so long-term. And it's really exciting that you're instilling that message of the profession, and that it does take a long time, so to speak, for you to make enough money in this profession to make it worth your time. But you're doing that and you're showing people it's a long game. And I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, 100% what you're saying, that really instills I guess you could say, the long-term business, those principles, because you're setting people up with those proper expectations to be here for a very, very long time, and not saying, hey, you're just going to come into this thing and you're going to make a ton of money your first month. And then the first month comes and they don't make any money. And they're like, why did I join this thing? And they want to leave this thing. Right. So you want to set those proper expectations. And, we talk about the dinosaur companies of network marketing, these companies that were created, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And you look at the size of a lot of them today, even today, they're still successful businesses because they actually built with those principles compared to what we see with this new age internet stuff, right? So that's very important.
in the company I'm in, I am distributor number 116. So I got involved with a startup 23 years ago. So now there's 7 figures of distributors in that company, and I'm still number 116. And, you know, now I talk about, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that that time went on. They paid every month for all these years, and something that was a twinkle in somebody's eye became something that has changed the lives of so many people. And that's what you're doing. And when you take on that kind of responsibility for your friends that are just coming out of college, they're trying to get married, they're trying to do great things, and you're looking them in the eye saying, this is something that you can do. There's great responsibility behind that when you're looking across the table and really meaning what's coming out of your mouth. You've got to choose well and stick around, right?
Yeah. Your credibility is everything, right? You know, you start leading people all over the place, people aren't going to follow you for long, right? You got to show people where to go and know where you're going to be even a leader, right? You got to know what's going to happen in your life before you can help someone change their life. That's what I always tell people. So you got to know that. You got to have the vision for the future. Every day, I'm not thinking about today. Like I'm thinking, hey, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. That's the way I've built since I started. I never looked at today like, oh, today's the day. No, like today's another day. I'm looking, hey, in the future. And that's kind of what keeps you going each and every, day to keep working.
And so you are still a very young guy. You've been extremely successful, but you also, you don't have a huge amount of life experience behind you, and yet you're leading these huge organizations. How do you figure out how to tap into leadership and wisdom beyond your years to be able to lead this big organization?
Yeah, I think understanding people is everything. And network marketing, it's a people business. If you understand people, guess what? I can tell you to be successful in any industry, because every industry in business involves people. So I think I really understand people well. And when I build, I really find out a lot about them, their cultures, where they're from, what they've done historically prior to this. And I understand a way to relate. And, we were doing a thing at the event this weekend where, you're showing your colors, right? If you're a shark, if you're a dolphin, we're doing all these things, and each person in the room's got a pamphlet and they're filling it out. And I'm looking at the pamphlet, right? And of course, at 18, I saw the ones that I was really solid in, right? The categories. But I looked at the pamphlet today and I'm like, man, I do all of these things. I can fit in any of these categories because I learned how to communicate with people. And by doing that, the business can grow because, this person from the Middle East, this person from Asia, this person from South America, I know how to deal with every culture and every type of person and play my role so we can build a successful business together. So I think understanding people is huge in building organizations. Okay,
Swoony Mooney, are you married?
I'm not married. I have a girlfried, but
okay.
I'm not married.
All right, good. So check. All right. I asked him. That was a very gutsy question
on everybody's mind.
That's what they all want to know. That was unbelievable. And this guy I don't know what his name was, but he thinks you're cute. So that was pretty cool. So this is awesome. It's a great show today, buddy. We're having fun with you. I like you. All right. We have to go to a break right now. We're going to come back right after this on the Genesis Communication Network. And we're back. I missed another break. You are so fascinating. I lost my train of thought. Sean Murphy's on here, and I'm telling you, if there's a guy that is a fan of Anthony, fan of this show, fan of the world, I don't know that I know a nicer guy in the world than
just
Sean.
Loves people.
I don't know
through
anybody.
and through.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about Sean Murphy.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
How would Neil Saunders know you? Do you know Neil Saunders?
Well, let's tell you right now.
All right, he's like my age. That's interesting. Yeah, that's good. Exciting. I love that. All right, this is very, very, very good news. All right, take it away. What are you doing, Mr. Contact Mapper?
So one of the things that we have been having a lot of fun with, and actually it's kind of fun because it's flipped a little bit. So when we were at GoPro, you rolled out this thing that we developed called the Gig Interviewer. And so we put together this ebook that makes it possible and shows you a roadmap for how to interview the people who have the most customer contact and the most interesting conversations of probably anybody out there, which is your Lyft or your Uber driver. And so we've got this manual. It's really cool about how to interview Uber and Lyft drivers for your business. But what's crazy and has kind of flipped is you now have a bunch of network marketers that you have convinced to become Uber drivers.
What happened today? This guy's running for city council in Longmont. We got a couple 100,000 people here. He's running for city council. He is a great big realtor in this building here. So he came over, did a little presentation, just a generic presentation on contact mapping to him. And before the day ended, the guy is going to go become a Lyft driver. I said, you're driving an interrogation booth. If you can't figure out a way to engage people sitting in the back of your car to give you referrals or even maybe buy a house, you shouldn't be a city councilman. And the guy walked right out the door and called me on the phone and said, I think I'm going to do that. Because I'm telling you, if you're all buying leads, why not get paid to take leads? Ryan Enright's watching this thing. He's got a master's degree from someplace like Oxford University, and the kid is now driving an Uber because he's in conversation every day with lots of people that are paying him to talk to him because I read your book. It's unbelievable.
How about that?
Thank you.
But it's
I
so
gotta get
fun.
some more vodka.
Oh, good Lord. But yeah, so, whether you're going to go drive an Uber or whether you're going to sit in the back of one and talk to that person about what it is that has them in that car in the first place and what dream they're trying to fund with a little bit of extra money on the side. And would they, what have they ever thought about how they could lever up what they're already doing, talking to these people coming through the backseat of their car in a bigger way? We have just had so much fun and so much success helping people to do that, and it's been awesome, hasn't it? Not even listening. So
I didn't hear what you just said.
So
I didn't hear. I thought you were. And Ryan Enright walking in the door right now. We just told him that we talked about him on the radio 2 seconds ago.
It's incredible.
And you asked me a question during this commercial.
It's fine. It's
too late.
Yeah, that moment has long since
Joe
passed.
Garcia. Do you know who Joe Garcia is?
I have withdrawn all sponsorship.
One of the big. Well, yeah. Sorry about that, but Joe Garcia is one of the biggest network marketers on the planet. He's actually tuned into this show, and he's never watched it before either in his life. So it had to be because of you. So that's very exciting, and welcome, Joe.
That's awesome. Hi,
really
Joe.
Cool.
All right, we better come back. Go to giginterviewer.com, giginterviewer.com, and grab that ebook for free. And I think we're back on the air.
No, we're not. We got a full
We got another minute. I'm sorry.
All right.
I did it wrong.
It's okay. Lester Yutzi, Janice Johnson, Leslie Herbert. Unbelievable. Our dear friend Rebecca Randall. I can't believe we don't have Chad Williams on here yet. So as soon as he pops on, please make sure he knows we mentioned him.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, but staying connected. He just hit the
He's
nail.
on there. He was on
Chad's
there
on there?
earlier. Yeah, and Matt Jameson's on there. We got a crowd today.
All right, good. Marianne's in our ear. She's like, we got a monitor. She's talking. All right, this is cool. Now we can come back to the show in a few seconds. What do you have a website? Giginterviewer.com.
Yeah, go to giginterviewer.com and grab the ebook. It's pretty cool.
I'm really feeling bad that I wasn't listening during you asking me the question. I was concentrating, Adrian, and at my age, you can't multitask like you kids can. It's very, very hard. So I was drinking some Metamucil. So we'll be back right after this. So be quiet for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back. It's the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault, Adrian Chenault, and we got Anthony Napolitano with us, an unbelievable kid, and has done incredible stuff building a business that is going to last a long time. And several of you asked during text messages and things like that, how does he get people started? And what's the opening conversation that he has with young people who have such unbelievable skepticism toward a home-based business conversation? Not so much a pyramid, but just they don't understand. So they automatically think that it's something that is probably not. How do you overcome that conversation?
Yeah, so there's a few different things that I do when I present the business to people. One thing I do for all age demographics is make things relatable, right? When I explain network marketing, I make it very, very simple, and I make it make sense to them. I go, hey, have you ever seen commercials from DirecTV or AT&T or LA Fitness or these companies that say refer a friend and get paid? We have the same type of model. And I explain to them why the traditional forms of advertisement don't work like they used to. If you ask a millennial, hey, when's the last time you bought someone off a billboard, commercial, or radio ad? They say never. They've never done it, okay? Yeah. So I relate it to them. Hey, you go to YouTube, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, skip. But the car that you have right now and the phone that you have and the clothes that you wear, it's probably because your friends like those same type of things, right? So I make network marketing make sense to them as a whole. I explain the business model as a company. Let's just say I'm the owner of a company. Someone produces a sale like a distributor, right? The company knows exactly how much they make when that sale is made, how much they could pay out and still be profitable. It's an ingenious business model. Instead of paying $1 million for a billboard commercial or radio ad that you don't know what it's going to pay you, the company sets up their profit margins from the beginning to make sense. And guess what? You got a legitimate business to build.
That makes nothing but sense.
Very good.
Why didn't I think of that?
You just got to make everything that I say when I speak, I relate it to topics that they do on an everyday life, right?
So you're
Every day.
speaking into their listening instead of speaking at them.
Exactly.
What a concept. And you got it. That's very good.
That is really good. And so as you kind of go one layer deeper in that conversation, what are you finding as you speak to, kids that are maybe around the age that you were when you first did this, or, coming out of college sort of age, whatever that is, how do you, as you go kind of that layer deeper of like, okay, that makes sense conceptually now, like what is a residual income? Like, how do you explain that and how do they receive it?
Yeah. So residual income, I related to, the most common things are authors and musicians. That's a very, very common example. Michael Jackson's made more money since he's been dead than he did when he was alive. It's pretty powerful, right? The Jackson family's still living good because of Michael, right? So if you think about that, that's a really cool philosophy. Some of the books that we talk about, especially in network marketing and self-development, a lot of these people have been dead for a very long time. Every time you buy one of these books, that family's getting a check. So there's cool concepts right there. But I would say, how do I relate to a millennial to like really engage them with our industry and with our business? Is they don't have many options. Let's just be honest, guys. It's pretty simple today. Student loan debt is the #1 debt in America, or actually in the world, let's just say, right? I saw Robert Kiyosaki on a talk show the other day, and it's way worse than the housing situation in 2008 if you look at the numbers, right? So if you look at that and you show people, a 4-year degree today is basically like a high school diploma. Everyone's got one. If you're not going to be a doctor or a lawyer, when it comes to professions, you don't really have a lot of options to have time or financial freedom. And network marketing has the potential to do those things. And of course, we're not selling someone, hey, you're going to join today and get that. But over time, you can acquire that into your life, like many people on this, planet have, and, some people on this show have, right? So it's a really, really unique concept.
So the good news is the segue that he just threw about Robert Kiyosaki is kind of interesting, because Kim Kiyosaki's on next week, and she's a beast in her own right. I mean, she is the one running Rich Dad right now. They're bringing back the cash flow game big time. And Robert Kiyosaki, that was really, really smart that you brought that up. People are able to relate to his conversation, because nobody wants to be a hostage, but the bill of goods that were sold to us as we're going through college and starting our life out, that's what you were at your other job, and you got free. So you have been re-educating people. That doesn't mean you don't get a great education. It just means that you have a way to get residual income and do your life, right, Anthony?
Yeah, exactly. No, education's great. Education's everything, because, the more skills you have, the more money you make. That's how the world works. And getting skills that the average person does not have makes you exclusive, and then your income's higher than the average person. That's the key in life. So school is an education skill set that you acquire. The same thing with our business. It's a whole other thing. It's a whole other school that you're acquiring. And as you acquire those skills, guess what? The income goes up.
How do people get a hold of you? How do you want people to find you?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things, a lot of different ways, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook at Anthony Napolitano, Instagram at It's Anthony Knapp, ITZANTHONYNAP. And then, my personal website, you can just go to anthonynapolitano.net, and you'll see my site.
That's a slick website. I looked at it. It wasn't, you're sucking people in because they're going to get educated on this profession. You're selling them what they want to buy. They hit that box and it's on the way. Deep respect for whoever did. I'm sure you designed it, but you did a beautiful job with that too.
Thank you.
So who's behind this whole deal? Your mother or your dad?
My mother and my dad are clueless to this industry. They're starting to understand a little more behind what we do and how it works. My dad is a retired firefighter now, and my mom is a realtor.
And how about Brian McMullen? Been a huge influence on your life?
Yeah, Brian McMullen, and people like Rick Roberry, the master distributor of my company, and some of these guys who have been in this game a very long time. Those are who I've surrounded myself with at a young age, and I think that's another reason why I think so long term, and the right principles and the right morals. Because a lot of people think this is a short term game. They're trying to screw someone this month to have a good next month, right? That's what they're thinking in their mind. Hey, I'm going to do this because I'm going to come up quick. In the next couple months, I'm going to change my income dramatically, whatever the case is. But understand, this is a long-term game. Life is a long-term game. So you have to keep the proper relationships. You got to do things the right way if you're going to have credibility long-term in our industry.
So you're traveling. I mean, talk about your travel because you are on the move.
Yeah, so I travel a lot. Over the last 3 years, I've spoken on stages in over 35 countries. I'm the top flyer status at 2 different airlines. And, I take a lot of flights, hundreds of flights a year, which is crazy. This year, I started out a lot. I'm doing a lot more domestic now, which is actually really cool. We're building a lot in America and doing a lot of stuff there. But in March, I'm going to be heading back out to Europe and doing these big tours that I do where you're out there a few weeks and you go to 7-10 countries on one trip. You're going to an event. Okay, you get off the plane, you meet with people, and you have the event at night. And guess what? That night, basically, you get to bed at like 3-4 in the morning because you go out to these late dinners, and then you're getting on a flight at 6 a.m. to the next country. And it is crazy. You definitely have to have you got to be a little psychotic like myself that is going to go do that. The average person is not going to go on the planes and do all these flights. But you don't have to do that in this business. This is
number one, but they treat you like you're the Beatles. I mean,
of course.
It is so funny. You guys are all going, because most people that have to travel, and this happens to me all the time. Oh, you have to travel all the time. And I'm looking at them like they're out of their mind. I am not going to the Motel 6, and I'm not having that cruddy breakfast of Spam and eggs or whatever you have. It's just horrible. They treat you right. I mean, you are the Beatles. And that's pretty cool, isn't it? At your age, great at my age.
It's incredible. And the relationships I have with people all over the world. Like, think about when I started in this industry at 18, I knew no one even outside of our country, right? Yeah. And to think about all these friends, I could go to a random country today and someone would welcome me right into their home. You think about that, it's kind of crazy to think what can happen in a short period of time if you build these relationships and you do it the right way. And, I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it. I probably do, like I said, probably more than you even need to do. I just love it though. I'm like addicted to it. People ask me like, what do you do for hobbies? I'm like, I do the business. This is what I do. I love the business. Of course I still play sports and stuff and go to the gym and stuff like that still sometimes, but I'm really passionate. I'm really passionate about what we do.
When you take a look at Lisa Grossman and Curtis Broom just flying back and forth to Asia all the time, and everybody thinks that's such a rough gig until you look at them in the airplane, they're eating lobster and so funny. And then, then you get there and you're seeing their skyscraper and they've got that beautiful thing overlooking the harbor. There's a difference between the way that Anthony is traveling and the way that you are. So whatever you do, don't have it in your head like you're not a door-to-door salesman. These people are living life like rock stars, and it's really, really cool. And it's obviously you've got to earn your way up that ladder. So, and it is hard work and it takes a long time, but almost everybody's in a job like that, where that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is elusive or not there. And what's cool about what you're doing is you're showing people that there is a dream that can be achieved, and it's actually tangible, that anybody can reach it with the right work ethic, right?
Yeah, no, anyone can do this. I started out in this industry at 18 with not even a job behind me, right? I never even had a real job. The only tax form I've ever filled out is a 1099. So I didn't have any experience. I didn't know what I was doing, but I surrounded myself with the right people, was coachable. I think coachability is the number one thing. If you're coachable early on, you listen to the people who have been there and done it already, your success can go a lot faster than you trying to reinvent the wheel. I see a lot of people do that. So just be coachable, be a student of the game, learn from people like Tom and, all these great, I guess you could say, people that we have to look up to and learn from in this industry, in this profession. And I know in the beginning of the show, you were talking about A&MP and all these different events today in network marketing. I know when you started, they didn't have any of this stuff like compared to what it is today, right?
We all rode our horses down to the corner barn and we had ourselves a boo-rah.
Yeah. Crazy. There's all these resources. Take full advantage of them. Right? Take full advantage of them, be a student, learn, develop, understand. Yeah, it takes time to grow skills, but it is 100% worth it.
Yeah. I'm going over to England. Danny Clark, I don't know if you know, he's having a big event at the end of March. I'll go over there for that. Then I'll come back. I'll go to the A&MP. My wife, I said, is speaking at the Most Powerful Women, everybody. So if you're a woman, go there. Tell Denise I said hi and I sent you. If you're a man, go down to the A&MP. And that's just kind of like the common line, because I just can't believe they're the same weekend. And it's politically correct for me to gender specify. No one can get mad at me. I'm a hero. Garrett's not mad. Eric's not mad. It's great. But these guys are all my role models. I mean, I'm telling you what, I'm the same as you, whether it's Eric Worre, whether it's Ray Higdon, whether it's Rob Sperry, whether it's Fraser Brooks, whether it's Ray Higdon, whether it's Mark J. I like the guys with integrity that are telling the truth about this profession. Don't you agree?
Yeah, no, there's just so many, like you said today. It's incredible, all the resources. If you really want to develop and you really want to learn how to build this business the right way, you have so many resources to take advantage of.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And we got a minute to say something interesting.
So you talked about coachability. How does sports play into coachability for you? Was that a big part of your journey?
Yeah, sports was everything for me because it developed all those traits. And in sports, I was always willing to learn from people that can make me better. If you can make me better at something and I could, learn a new skill set to do on a daily basis, I was really willing to learn.
What position did you play? I'm highly suspect about you.
Yes. So I was a lefty, so I pitched and played center field.
You're kidding. I thought center fielders had to be right-handed and right fielders were left-handed.
No, I was a center field. It was based off.
Tell me a professional baseball player that's left-handed in center field.
Well, there was a bunch through the years. Johnny Damon was left-handed, I believe.
Chastised.
Yeah, we could go through outfielders. There's a lot, but you're right. Typically, the right fielders are lefties.
All right, we're coming back right after this. It's the Network Marketing Leadership Show, and we're back. Okay, I'm stepping out of my chair because we have a surprise cameo guest who doesn't even know he's going to be on. Get up here, Ryan. Hurry. This is Ryan Enright. This is the guy with the master's degree from Oxford that I was telling you about. Was it Oxford? Oxford. It might not have been Oxford. This is Ryan Enright, and he's the guy that chose to drive the rolling interrogation booth to build his network marketing business after reading the book in giginterviewer.com. He's got 6 kids. He's got all kinds of commercial real estate. He decided to embrace network marketing, get more contacts, and you're a genius because you started driving Uber and all of a sudden you're getting paid to interview people, right?
It works.
Talk to him because you
Perfect
guys
system.
It's so wild. Talk about the most interesting business conversation that has come. Yeah, have a seat. Have a seat. Stay a while.
All right.
So tell me about somebody who's come through the back of your car and what's come from that.
Well, I think just the whole aspect about it, I've had some pretty interesting people. I've had kind of a mix of people, just ones that why should I take the come out? You caught me off guard.
Poor guy.
I think just kind of what the cool thing has been is I'm trying to think some of the people that I've had, because I've just had some people that have, just normal routes, nothing really interesting that as far as they just didn't really want to talk, and that's fine. But then I've had some people that were really looking for some different things going on for their life. They were looking for something new. Had some people that were connected, had a guy who was looking to drive Uber that just was coming up here to open up a catering business. And so it's just kind of been cool to make connections just with brand new people that I never would have met otherwise.
That's so cool. And you're right. There's kind of 2 directions, right? There's the connect, that person comes to the car having a whole set of connections that could be interesting or valuable or whatever in some regard. And so you're interviewing them and you're finding out all this stuff. And then you get to be a resource for that person too, of going, hey, it sounds like you're trying to get this thing out of your life. I think you should, I think I might know somebody that you should talk to or whatever it is. Right. Yeah. That's so cool.
I can't believe I just got thrown into this.
This is Tom had to go to the bathroom pretty bad, I think. So he had to do something.
Fill in. Nice meeting you, Anthony.
Yeah, as well.
That is so funny. So so that's really what it's all about. But we developed this thing, and it's funny how it's taken on a life of its own. And not only are we showing network marketers how to interview their drivers, but we're actually convincing some network marketers that it might be worthwhile to become drivers.
I think one of the biggest value that I've learned is it's just been a great way to practice my skill and learn how to ask questions, learn how to figure out what people maybe need, and just kind of what's going on in their life. Because I think that's something that for me was not a process that I was very good at. I was a very selfish individual, and that's kind of had a conversation through with Tom and my sobriety, and has just been a completely different aspect from there. So
that's
learning to live life a completely different way and become a human again.
thank you for jumping in the deep end, whether you liked it or not.
Welcome back. Here, I'll shake this hand because I'm holding gun on that end.
See, I'm even pulling them off the street to make this show better for you, Anthony. Is that unbelievable?
I just hope you washed your hands after that, man.
I know. That's so sad. That was a perfect segue to take a leak. So are we back? We got what, 5 seconds? Yeah.
Yeah.
I even have that timed. And we're back. It is the Network Marketing Leadership Show, final segment with Anthony Napolitano. Go to anthonynapolitano.net and learn about this kid. I'm telling you what, he is bright, he is focused, he is playing the long game, and he's what we need in this profession. And God bless Brian McMullen, whoever that other guy, Ricky, somebody, is that what you said his name was? I don't know.
Rick Roberry.
I don't know him. You have to tell him to call me.
Yeah, you got to set up a call. Introduce you guys.
I'll hook them up. So hook them up. So we're back. And so let's just talk about so people thinking about joining network marketing, you bring them into the business, you put them on a 90-day, and on your website, you're talking about 60 days, you're going to get them in. You put people into massive action instantly. How does that look?
Yeah, so I really see what they're looking to do, right? You got to feel people out and you got to see what makes sense for them. In network marketing, a lot of people fall in love with the product or a certain product or something about the comp plan that makes sense for them, right? And they're like, they promote those things that they like, but it's not about what you like. It's about what the person you're talking to likes and what makes sense for their life that they could actually take advantage of. You know, what service makes sense or what product makes sense for them on what they do on a daily basis. So I really figure out what's best for them and I fulfill that need, right, with whatever I have to offer. And then from there, I set them up with a roadmap to have success as soon as possible. Yep.
And you teach them to be mentors. So you aren't doing it all yourself.
Yeah,
you
so I want to develop leaders. Yes, we want to develop leaders in this business. If you're doing everything yourself, your business has a short lifespan and it will, not be able to grow to the extent that you want it to, and you'll never be able to create a real residual income. You got to develop people. I see some people, they want to make, everything about them. They want to be the top check and they want to do this and that. Well, guess what? Your check's not long-lived if that's the attitude that you have. You got to be wanting to help other people succeed. You want people to surpass you. You want things to happen in the business. So it's a long-term business.
And what's the, as you think about developing, creating and developing leaders and showing them to do the same, what's the core building block of leadership that you're trying to instill into these people?
Yeah, I don't think leadership has a dollar amount tied to it. A lot of people, they talk about, income. Income doesn't mean anything. I know some guys who are making a ton of money that honestly don't know what's going on, right? They couldn't lead anyone anywhere. They're making a big amount of money, right? So at the end of the day, I think leadership is developing a skill set and knowing where you're going, consistent actions, consistent attitude. I think it's really about showing people what to do, not telling people what to do. And, if you adopt that mentality and you become a person that people really want to be around, that's how you really become a great leader in this business.
That's awesome. And do you have books that you have them read? Like what's kind of
early on. Yeah. So early on, we're like network marketing focused, heavy network marketing to get their mindset to understand this business is real. Some of the books, you guys know, GoPro, Eric Worre, you got Beach Money, Jordan Adler, right? So you got these books and this information. That's great initially to develop their mindset, the belief level of network marketing as a whole. But from there, I also transition. I tell people, self-development, once you understand network marketing, you believe in the industry, it's about learning things every single day that can help you in this business. So learning about the economy can actually help you in this business. Learning about, sales on online can help you. There's so many things that when you're explaining the business to people that relate, that can help you be successful in this business. So I think growing as a human on all aspects of knowledge on a daily basis and just knowing what's going on in the world and, what we're doing is huge, but early on network marketing focused.
So every morning I read for 30 minutes hard. And right now I'm in the middle of Grant Cardone's book because I met him at GoPro at 6. Everybody hated him in the crowd because he was so sell your house and use the money to invest. And everybody's like, right. He said to kill your dog or something. Your dog's a distraction. I mean, he really shook some people up.
He was funny. I was there watching him that day and I had a great time listening to him. And he was straight up blunt and honest. Like, hey, this is what it is. And, you know, I could take it because that's how my dad is. The people I grew up with, right? They're right killers to the point. But yeah, some others
I ran into him at 6 in the morning at Starbucks, and I spent a half an hour with him.
Oh,
and
man.
I fell in love with him. So I've listened through that 10X book twice now. And I am telling you, it's made me a better man. And it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, you guys, all of you listening, get a routine where you're pouring a book into your brain literally every day for a while, because it just makes you better. Would you agree?
Yeah. And you can, you know, you do a lot of your books audiobook, right? Like you can build that into your workout regimen. You can build that into a lot of parts of your, you know, your commute, whatever it is, right? Like, this doesn't have to be I'm sitting on the couch reading a book, but it's like, if you like figure out how to get that knowledge and that mindset and just your brain turning on a daily basis, makes a huge difference.
You have inspired us, Anthony. I mean, you need to know that. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people watching this thing, and I'm telling you, you're making a difference because you're giving a hope to a profession that is going to explode on this planet. And in the United States right now, there's no jobs. I mean, everybody's got jobs. And this is a tough time for network marketing because everybody's employed, but it's still going great. And when things shift, it gets better, either direction. And you are smart enough to have seen that, and you've looked around corners. You see that everybody else is chasing that fast money. I see a couple of fast money people on here that I just wish would come to your house, because it is so doggone important to be responsible in the way that you pitch this business, because it's not a game show. It is taking people's lives and being responsible for them. And I'm thrilled that you're taking it seriously. So thank you.
No, I definitely appreciate that. And like you said, it's people's livelihoods. It really is. It really is. You know, you can completely change the outlook of someone's life. So really
wise beyond your years. Okay, so next week, it's Kim Kiyosaki on this show. You want to be watching. She's great. She's got great wisdom. She also spoke at GoPro. If you heard her, he's, you know, obviously Robert's been there a few times, but we'll see you all next week on the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom and Adrienne Chenault. Thanks. All right, this is the show after the show. You can cuss now and do all kinds of stuff. So let's see. Tom Challen, got people listening. My friend Des from Singapore.
Nice.
People from all over the place are watching. And I'm just telling you, we can't thank you enough. Cheryl Stevens down in New Zealand. I mean, just people that we love. And they came for you, Anthony. No one can believe somebody as young as you.
They came for you, man.
No, they've never been on before.
Awesome.
This is unbelievable. So thank you, man. And we really appreciate you coming on.
You're awesome.
I definitely appreciate being around you guys. You know, being around like-minded people is always a good time.
Where are you going next as far as, are you anything?
Yeah.
Are you going to the ANMP?
Yeah, I'll be at ANMP.
Do we have you speaking yet?
I got to talk to
I'm on the committee. You got to talk to me. Me.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll come.
Okay,
there you
go.
go.
Done. You're committed.
You're committed.
Very, very cool.
I'll actually start promoting. We waited till about this time last year, and then we'll start promoting heavy the North American people. So yeah.
And it's in Dallas, and then the Ladies Go Pro is in Vegas. So I don't have any, I'm not going to get you in trouble, but I'm going to tell women, go to Women's Go Pro. Denise, my wife, is speaking there with Marianne Worre, and then over at the ANMP, it will be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of great speakers there. So no matter what, you're going to get great content that weekend. I love the fact that, and this weekend, Taylor and Larry Thompson are doing a huge event down in Dallas. It's the gig economy thing. And then on Monday, they're doing a mastermind thing around their new book with some serious people. I mean, Jeff Roberti's going to be there, Jeff Weisberg, Harris Williams, legends, Dan Stamen from World Ventures. I mean, if you guys get a chance, get down to Dallas this weekend. So adios, everybody. Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks,
I love
Anthony.
you. You're a great kid. Hug your parents.
Yeah.
See ya.
He's a great guest, man.
All right, thanks. We're all done. Great job.
All right. Awesome job, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anything you guys need, let me know. I hope you guys have a great day.
You too.
All right.
See ya.